Hello, everyone, and welcome to Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian. In the news, the Como-Picton School Board, the Hopkins County Commissioners Court, and the Hopkins County Hospital District Board will be asked in the near future to consider approving a request from Telios for tax incentives to locate a solar farm in Pine Forest. Telios, a business with offices in Dallas, is focused in engineering, construction, technology, and energy development. Pine Forest is Telios' first proposed solar distribution facility. However, Pine Forest is not the only site in the U.S. being considered by Telios for a solar farm. They are also considering sites in Oklahoma, Louisiana, and New Mexico. To give local residents a chance to talk with Telios and K.E. Andrews personnel regarding the project, an informal meeting was held Tuesday evening at Como-Picton School. Several Pine Forest residents expressed concerns and opinions regarding the proposed solar electric generating facility. Residents expressed concern that their nearby properties would experience a drop in value due to being close to the facility. Others worried about things such as the project resulting in increased humidity and higher temperatures.
Always bring a lot of fresh air and positive thinking when you come in.
Well, I'm glad you think that. I have a fun job. It's fun. I have a great group of people that I work with. I get to see happy campers on weekends and sometimes during the week. But this is a great time to be in the park business. In the fall, leaves are changing, weather's cool, campfires. Yeah, you can't beat it.
Mm-hmm. And the leaves, the colors are pretty over there.
Yeah. Yes. I guess it was the second weekend of the month we had almost freezing temperatures, and that kicked off a lot of the fall color changes. A lot of the sugars were being converted in the leaves because of that. Shorter photo periods during the day, cool nights, a fair amount of water. So the colors are becoming quite nice.
You have always got something nifty planned, and I hope that you'll tell us about the next few weeks at Cooper Lake State Park, either the south or north side, and both. And there's also something else that's pressing right now.
Right. Election Day is November 5th, and there's a Proposition 5. It's a constitutional amendment. And my job here is just to inform people what it's about. I'm not advocating one way or another. I'm just telling the folks what this proposition is about. Okay, over the past 24 years, there has been a sporting good tax levied in the state of Texas, 1/8 of 1%, and this money has equated to about $2.4 billion over that period. Only.
Did you say billion?
Billion with a B, yes.
Okay.
Yes, and when that was the intent, or the thought was that money was going to go to Texas Parks and Wildlife or Texas State Parks, and some of that would go to the Texas Historical Commission. Well, up to this point, less than 50% of that money of the state sporting good tax has made its way to Texas State Parks, Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. The legislature in this last legislative session has given the people of Texas the opportunity to say, do we want all of the state sporting good tax to go to Texas Parks and Wildlife, or do we want that to go to the general fund? Well, if it goes to Texas Parks and Wildlife, this is what we can do. We can open up, at least in the near term, we can build 5 new parks. We can replace and improve about $800 million worth of deferred maintenance. We have an amazing group of park rangers and headquarters staff, and they have stretched the state's dollars, done what they can. But there's only so much you can do when you have a failing wastewater treatment plant or water lines and cabins. Some of our cabins in our system are 60, 70 years old. They need new roofs. So there's about $800 million that we need to add. And if we do all this, then and we replace this and repair, this should create a vibrant, awesome system, even better than it is now, for present and future generation of Texas to love and enjoy. State parks is more than just fun and games. It actually adds a lot to the local economies. We have Delta County, we have Hopkins County, and we have about 90 other state parks that are in communities, and they're bringing dollars in. About half of our visitation for campers here at Cooper Lake State Park come from the Metroplex. So those dollars are coming into Hopkins County. People are spending money, and they're telling their friends, and more people will come in. And if we have better facilities and improvements, then that should only increase that economic effect. So,
how many state parks do we have?
Well, we had 7 transfer this past legislative session to the Texas Historical Commission. They're still being operated. The San Jacinto Battleground was transferred to the Texas Historical Commission.
Okay.
So more of the historic parks with less camping and less outdoor recreational activities were transferred to the agency.
Okay.
That agency. But right now we're right at 90 state parks, and it looks like we're going to, if we have dedicated monies into the future, then we should be able to open up at least 5, and who knows, the sky may be the limit for how many parks that we can open. You know, there's 1,000 people plus moving to Texas every day. So we need a place for those people to go out and recreate. You know, outdoor activity has been shown to improve your cognitive ability, your health and wellness. You know, we want Texas to be the best. We think it is the best. We want it to be even better. State parks can actually add to that.
So briefly, this Proposition 5, if it passes, would allocate what?
It would allocate the current tax money that's being collected. So there would be no increase in your sales tax because the money is already being collected. If you buy a bicycle, a tent, basketballs, okay, there's a number of items that 1/8 of 1% is levied on. It's already being collected. The voters of the great state of Texas, they get to choose. Does all the money go to Texas Parks and Wildlife, or does it go to the general funds? So this takes it out of the legislators' hands, and it puts this question to the people. And whatever the people vote on November 5th, and that's will be the law of the land.
Okay.
So we're excited. We're excited about the thought of being able to open up new parks and build improved structures. At Cooper Lake State Park, for example, we have a fishing pier that's at Sunset Cove that stretched entirely from one side to the other of the cove. It was destroyed by the flood, massive flood about 2 years ago, and those are the top projects that we could really jump on quickly.
So we could rebuild our large fishing pier.
We could rebuild the large fishing pier with some of the monies. A number of parks can rebuild their water and wastewater infrastructure. We can repair cabins. We could build hopefully a recreational center at Cooper Lake for the public to love and enjoy. So there's a lot of things that can happen. Add staff for better services. So it's up to the voters which way they want to vote. The money is already being collected, so there's no increase in your state.
So basically, the Proposition 5 with a yes vote on that allows the allocation of the money that's already there to Texas Parks and Wildlife, which would allocate it out to the various parks and needs as needed.
Yes.
Okay.
That's how that works, and the legislature saw that was a great way to do it. Let the people decide.
Good.
And then that's what's happening on November 5th.
You know what I'm proud about is that we have a lot of people here in our area who listen to this station and live here, who care about things, and they will vote and express their opinion on things. Well,
that's one reason why I'm here, because I know your listener base. They're well educated and they love the county. So. These our state parks. I mean, these are our state parks here for our community. I mean, other communities have their state parks. Cooper Lake State Park is our state park, and since I'm in the position I'm in, I want our state park to be the best it can possibly be. So,
and it's pretty good. You've got a wonderful thing going out there, but it takes a lot of hard work on your part, such as putting on these events. Now, tomorrow night is a night hike.
We have a night hike.
That sounds fun.
Hopefully the weather will cooperate, but we're like farmers. If the weather's bad, we have to change what we do. But if the weather if it's not raining and if the trails are not saturated, we're going to have a night hike starting at 6:30, and you're gonna be led through the forest after dark. It could be creepy, could be crawly. It's going to be safe, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're excited about that. And then we have a kayaking event for the weekend schedule. There again, if the weather cooperates, you're going to have a kayaking adventure, which is going to be free of charge with your paid admission into the park. Kids 12 and under always free. And we have a number of other events. Let me take a look at the South Sulphur Unit on October the 27th. We have what we call a mushy hike, which Bianca, our awesome ranger, will lead a group through the woods, and you guys will look at mushrooms. They're multiple colors, multiple uses. It's an incredible adventure looking for mushrooms. And Bianca, that's one of her passions. When we hired her, she loves mushrooms and fungi above plants and above animals. That's her like her hobby when she's not at work. She loves to study those. So
well, you brought up something else that's coming up, maybe at the South Sulphur side on November 3rd, afternoon tea, and it's not a sit-down tea, is it?
No, it's not. It's not an English tea. Was fortunate to go to England about 3 weeks ago, and they're really big on tea. So Earl Grey, that's one of their teas. No, these are teas that were developed by the Native Americans and the pioneers that came through. But first and foremost, the Native Americans, they didn't have a grocery store to go to. So where did they get their food and their drink? From the forest, from the prairies. And Bianca will take you on a tour of some of the more common leaves that were used to make teas. Understanding that you have to know what you're allergic to before you could actually sample any of those.
Oh.
So, but the Native Americans utilized the forest for their food, of course, both hunting and gathering. And we're going to get to take a look at some of the cool teas that were developed back in the day.
So interesting.
Smooth sumac, that comes to mind. The seeds from that plant create this floral sour drink that I've actually had myself. So it's fun. It's fun stuff.
Well, you know what? A lot of us just in going through the woods might have seen sassafras many times, but we didn't know what we were looking at.
Yeah, sassafras tree. I remember my grandpa. We would go out squirrel hunting or deer hunting, and then we on the way back, he'd say, "Hey, that's a sassafras tree," and we would dig up a root. He'd take out a pocket knife and cut off a piece of the root, and we'd take it back, and my grandma would boil it. And then we would have sassafras tea, because that's what he grew up with.
Well, is it anything like root beer?
To me, I didn't remember it tasting like root beer. It had its own special flavor. So that's just one example of the bounty that's in the woods.
Well, I want to ask you something, because this experience I had was over near the river in Delta County, but a tickle tree, the tickle tree, something when you touch that to your tongue, it tastes, I mean, it's a weird experience. So children would like to do this when they for fun.
Sure.
Back then.
I'm not sure what tree that might be, but that's just one example of the hundreds, probably thousands of different items in the forest and the prairies that were used for human food and drink.
So fun and so interesting, and thank you for keeping that all fresh and alive for us. Well, every time we come over there.
I mean, our staff is there. I can't do it by myself. Those are the guys, boots on the ground, that are making these wonderful experiences for the visitors. So.
Well, you bring a lot of enthusiasm with you each time you visit our station.
Well, it's exciting. You guys have a beautiful station, a great location.
Well, we love what you've got going over there at Cooper Lake on both. It's like having twins. You've got two parks there.
Two awesome parks. The south side here in Hopkins County and the north side in Delta County.
Thank you, Steve Kelly.
Thank you.
We will see you at the park.
In sports, the Wildcats will be hosting the Greenville Lions Friday night at the Prim. The Greenville head football coach, Darren Duke, is in his 4th year as head coach for the Lions. He replaced his mentor, Marvin Sedbury Sr., in 2016. Sedbury hired Duke 4 times as his defensive coordinator, twice in Greenville and also at Bryan and Dallas Carter. All told, Duke has been a football coach in Greenville for 15 years. Coach Duke says he's proud of his kids this year and how hard they've played. Entering Friday, the Lions are in 4th place in district, holding down the final playoff spot. He says if the Lions continue to play at a high level, they have a chance to earn that playoff spot. Coach Duke acknowledges the rivalry between the Wildcats and the Lions. He says the teams have played for years and district games have resulted in more being on the line. The Lions are led on offense this year by junior quarterback Brandon Stevens. Coach Duke says that Stevens learned a lot having to play last year. He says senior running back Lester Turner is powerful and speedy. He says his wide receivers are made up of the Lions' successful sprint relay track team. Coach Duke says his undersized offensive line is playing better as the season goes along. On defense, the Lions are led by 8 seniors. Defensive Lions standouts include tackle Devoya Washington and end Jeremiah Abrego. Coach Duke says his inside linebackers, Tucker Moman and Carlos Beltaton, are having big years. He says cornerback Tyricus Davis has been a big playmaker. Coach Duke says he believes the Lions will need to win 2 of their last 3 games to assure that playoff spot. The Lady Cats basketball team, minus girls currently playing volleyball, had their first day of practice on Wednesday. I talked with Lady Cats basketball coach Brittany Tisdale in her 2nd year as head coach.
We started practice yesterday, which is exciting. It's always exciting for coaches. I don't know about for the kids as much, but for coaches, I can't wait for the first practice day. But right now we just do a bunch of team stuff. So we do a lot of stuff where it's just we're working on like 1-on-1, 2-on-2, situational stuff. Can we pass? Can we shoot? Things like that. We don't do a lot of offense, defense yet. So really we're just trying to get in shape and get them to work on the fundamental stuff.
Yeah, now you lost a big senior class on 4 starters and all that, so I'm sure you'll still be, trying to determine who's JV, who's varsity and all that, and really kind of waiting for the end of volleyball to kind of solidify things.
Yes, the girls ask me all the time, who's going to be on varsity, who's going to be this? And I honestly do not know and will not know until I get all of them in the gym and see how they match up with each other. We've had move-ins come in, we've had some girls not return, and so I really honestly have no clue until I see, can they keep up with the varsity pace or do they need a slower pace game? I really won't know until I get them all in the gym.
Now, when would be your first scrimmage coming up pretty quickly now?
Yes, November 2nd, Saturday. It's at Silver Springs. We start at 9 a.m. and we have that first game. So I set it up to where we're always playing opposite. So if we have the 9 o'clock game, JV has the 9:30 game, and varsity will be in the main gym, JV will be in that back gym. And so we'll always be going opposite because I will also have girls that overlap teams and go back and forth and play with both, and so we can get an idea of where they fit in at.
All right. And then your first game, ready or not, here it comes, is Mineola, I think, the next Saturday, right, to open the season.
Yes. And so volleyball, we don't even know if they'll make it. I don't like jinxing them, but we're hoping for the best. They'll still keep going in playoffs, and so I may not even have a few players still, like Nala, returning varsity player, may not have her for even the first game. So we'll just have to play it by ear and do the best we can at that point.
Now you've got Kate Womack coming back, and that looks good.
Yes, she's already in the gym, so that's great. She's getting a lot of shots up because she'll be a shooter for us. And we have Latavia, and she'll be a true post. So she's in the gym. And then we have Colbria Harrison, and she'll be on the wing. And they're all three back in the gym, so I have them right now.
All right, so kind of a state of flux, but it always is, you know, until things kind of settle down. But I think there may be a lot of action between the scrimmage and the first game, and then ultimately when you get all of your players in there, that things will happen.
Yes, so it will be fun. It will be a challenge to see who steps up, who competes, who is wanting to take the spots on varsity that we have open, and you know, it will be crazy first couple of weeks, but it will be a fun couple of weeks.
Yeah. Easier the second year than the first coming into a program?
Yeah, because the girls are more used to me, and so it's a little bit easier because they know my expectations, know what I want, and they can kind of tell when they're about to like test me a little too much, and they'll take it back a little bit, and they're quick to get those freshmen on board with them. So they'll tell the freshmen, "Hey, let's go," and so it takes a lot off me because they know what I'm like and they don't want to run. So it makes it a little bit better.
The Sulphur Bluff volleyball team won a thriller at home Tuesday night over James Bowie 3-2. Lady Bears coach Zandra Payton said the Lady Bears used an old serving rotation in the first set to good effect, winning set 1 26-24. She said they returned to their current rotation and won set 2 going away 25-9. Coach Payton said then the Lady Bears doubled their server errors and also had some hitting errors in a run that left the Lady Bears out of sync as they lost set 3 25-10. In the fourth set, the Lady Bears got off to a slow start and could not overcome it in a 25-18 set 4 loss. Coach Payton said that she moved her serving rotation around in set 5 to feature girls who had been serving well all night. Libero Angel Brown had a crucial 5 points in a row off serve, leading the Lady Bears to a decisive set 5 win, 15-11. For the Lady Bears, Allie Colette had 10 service points, 1 kill, 1 block, and 31 assists. Jada Wade had 3 service points and 4 kills. Sierra Johnson had 6 service points and 2 kills. Tori Rainey had 8 service points and 7 kills. Skylar Stanley had 10 kills and 3 blocks. Hannah Bird had 4 service points. Ann Dorner had 10 service points, 4 kills, and 2 assists. Delina Di Donato had 4 kills. Angel Brown had 6 service points and a kill. The Lady Bears will be playing at Detroit on Friday. And that's Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian. Thank you for joining me, and so long, everybody.
Morning. You know today's just Thursday, right?
Yeah, I do. Getting out here too early?
No, there's no such thing as getting here too early now.
Things like I bring more and more, so it takes a few extra days. Cleanup's worse than the setup.
Well, I was about to ask how long does it take to get it all back home?
It takes a while. They say that I'm a little particular about packing things back up. So a lot of cleaning goes into it after the fact. Little sandy out here, it kind of stays with you.
So today's just Thursday.
It's gonna rain.
Just what, it was Thursday. What are you doing here?
Hey, we're beating the weather.
Weather? Wow, what have you heard?
I'd rather not set up in the rain. It's supposed to be nasty and cold. I don't think it's gonna last long, but still no fun setting up in the rain for sure. What's that old saying? There's no place to build it.